You're listening to The Edie J. Adler Show, only on LA Talk Radio.
Shalom, amigos. Thank you for tuning in to the Edie J. Adler Show. Guess what? I am Edie J. Adler. And this show is dedicated to everybody. Every topic is allowed. And like I say, except when we start name calling or insulting each other, no, we have to keep it civil or I will block you. And by the way, we support Israel. And we're very grateful for this beautiful nation, the United States of America. So with that in mind, let's welcome this week's guest. This is a lady I have known for quite a while, but I don't want to miss any single detail, so I always read the intro. So here we go. Shoshana Kaplan. You might not recognize your name if you've been living under a rock, but you've definitely seen her work. Shoshana spent decades as a sought-after makeup artist in Hollywood, working behind the scenes to make the stars shine, even when the stars aren't famous, like yours truly. And I'm thrilled to welcome her to the show. Shoshana's had a fascinating career journey, not only behind the cameras, but she went from transforming faces in Hollywood as a top of the line makeup artist to transforming communities with her innovative pay it forward app, Pipster. P-I-F stir, as in hipster, but with pay it forward. The pandemic sparked a shift in her priorities, and she and her husband, Chris, channeled their energy into creating a platform that empowers everyday people like you and me to make a real impact on local charities. While the app might not have brought her fame or fortune, Shoshana's passion for charities and dedication shine through as she shares the incredible stories of how Pipster is changing lives $1 at a time. And I am a perfect example of that because when Shoshana and Chris started on this fantastic journey, I've nominated two charities, two of my favorite charities, Dr. Dog House Pitbull Rescue, and also Lisa's Care Connection, the charity started by my friend Lisa Gibbons. And they both won. So I'm going to let Shoshana tell us a little bit more about Pipster and what inspired this beautiful couple to share what they didn't really have, but just to make people's lives better. Shoshana, welcome to the show. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Edie. That was a wonderful intro. And yes, I forgot. Yes, you did nominate two, and they did get the most votes.
Yes.
That's amazing. Yeah, the whole idea started at COVID, as you know. People were struggling. A lot of the elderly in my neighborhood wasn't getting the help that they needed. And the bigger nonprofits just weren't helping. And then smaller nonprofits came through. And I mean, really small, nonprofits that are run by someone who had suffered a trauma of their own and vowed no one else would go through what they went through. And it was amazing. They came in and they helped the elderly and they helped the animals and, took the elderly grocery shopping and to their doctor's appointments. And then people were helping them take care of their animals because, everything was shut down. And I remember I was having a conversation with my husband and I said to him, if I had $1 for everybody that cared, we wouldn't have these problems. And I'm sure you've said that before. I know my husband has said it before.
Yes.
Yeah. So, and we thought, wow, there's really something to that. $1, $1. Everybody could afford $1, 25 cents a week. Doesn't take much to help each other.
No, and it's automatic. You don't even have to think about it once you sign up.
Agreed. So we took my life savings at the time and we invested and we built an app and it's called Pipster, like you said, Pifster. As someone who pays it forward, I'm a Pipster. And we asked the users to suggest the things that they care about, and it could be anywhere in the United States. It could be a Boys and Girls Club that needs sports equipment. It could be an elderly person that can't afford their electricity. It could be many, many things. So the users suggest the causes that they care about. They go through vetting, and then 4 different causes are on the app every single month, and we vote. And
The people who contribute
yes,
vote.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes, you have to be a PIFster to vote.
Right. And then you have a little story, right? That the organization or the person themselves can tell their story on camera briefly so people know what they're voting for or what they're giving charity to.
Absolutely. On the voting page, we have a description of what the money would be used for, where it would go, and then you decide if that's what you want to contribute to. People vote. Whoever gets the majority of the votes gets the monthly dollar donations. And then most importantly, we make a video showing your money doing what you voted it to do, because transparency is the most important thing these days.
Absolutely. And I remember when I nominated the first charity,
Yes.
Dr. Doghouse
Oh, what an
Bully Crew.
amazing people. Amazing people.
She's a dear friend of mine, as you know. She's a pit bull rescue
Yes.
organization, but she rescues all kinds.
I was just going to say, not just pit bulls.
Not
I remember.
just pit bulls.
Yeah, so she rescues lizards. I mean,
Yeah.
she is an animal lover.
She rescued a bird at one point.
Yeah.
And
She spends her own money,
she
her
spends
own
her
time.
own money, her own time. Everything is done by her and a couple of volunteers here and there.
Mhm.
But she spends money on veterinarians. She spends money on medications for the
They're
dogs.
just amazing people.
And the reason she wanted to do the pit bull rescue, although she rescues everything,
Mhm.
is because pit bulls have a very bad reputation. And I always say, it's not the dog breed.
No.
People don't understand. They don't know that pit bulls at the beginning of the century, the 20th century, 1920s and so on. I guess I was around, so I remember this.
No, you weren't.
People use pit bulls as babysitters.
What?
Yes, people would use
Well,
pit
they're
bulls
very protective over
as
the things they love.
babysitters because they're very smart,
Yeah.
and like you say, they're very protective, and they're also very powerful dogs.
Yes.
Like any other dog, German Shepherds, Dobermans.
An Argentinian dojo my friend has.
Right.
A gorgeous but strong dog.
So they're strong. So people
Shout out to Clyde.
don't know what the heck they're doing when they get an older dog from the pound.
Right. Well, and you
So-
don't know what the trauma the
Right.
dog's
So
been
then
through.
they end
Yeah.
up returning them.
Yeah.
They get killed
Yeah.
a lot, and that's where Robin and Damon came in, and they decided to start this pit bull rescue. They make sure the dogs are fine. They don't just give you a dog and here you go, have fun.
Right.
They know that what the dog's personality is,
Yeah.
that they match your personality, and for whatever reason it doesn't work out, they will take the dog back. And so I thought, you're just starting, so you don't have that many charities lined up yet, or at least you didn't in my head. And I figured these are people that really deserve some help.
Oh, people love them. I mean, it's funny, people click to learn.
Right.
On the voting page, people learn about them, and obviously they love them because they got the most votes.
Right.
So,
and it went to good use. The money
Yes,
went to
that's-
good use.
I know they're amazing.
Not a cent
They're
of it
amazing.
went to spend on themselves. Every single cent went to their dogs.
Well, that is what I always say to people. That is my dream, to have a bigger fund that can go around and take care of these caregivers and alleviate the stress of where their finances to take care of whatever they do, whether they care for seniors or if they care for people, if they care for dogs. If you give a dog rescue $10,000, they're not going to go to vacation in Hawaii.
Right.
They're going to rescue more dogs.
Exactly.
I personally can't rescue. I mean, I have 5, but I can't rescue more. I can't rescue more dogs, but I can certainly give $1 to support a dog rescuer or a rescue. But there's great organizations. We've been able to do some amazing things with Pipster. I feel so blessed. And I really feel like it was sort of God pushing me in a certain direction. So many things happen. Like when we first applied for our 501c3, everybody kept saying, oh, it's going to take months for you to get your 501c3. It'll take months. Just be patient. We got it in 2 weeks.
Wow.
2 weeks. And we were like, okay.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. So we really felt like we were being nudged in this direction. And it's just the best thing I've ever done in my life. Like, It just takes, it's just so beautiful. We've helped, there's another great organization. She is Hope LA, Tisha. She helps struggling single mothers. This woman is a warrior I've never seen before. She's amazing. We've helped Project Pop Drop, which is a place that just shows up at a shelter and hands out food and 300 hygiene kits. And each of the hygiene kits will have love notes in them, like, it's okay, I know you're going through a rough time, just keep your chin up. I mean, just really amazing people in our community.
There are a lot of amazing people in
Yeah.
our community, and a lot of them start their own little organizations to help others.
Yeah.
And it's wonderful that you and Chris decided to do this to help them.
Yes. Well, they need help because, well, here, I'll put it this way. There are 1.8 million nonprofits in America. 1.8. And I pretty much can guarantee you that most people couldn't name 5. So these smaller organizations, the ones that are run by these selfless people, they need a voice in this pool of nonprofits. They need a voice, they need exposure, and they need funds. And people need to know that they're out there because
Right.
they're the ones who are doing the work.
Right.
It's not, I can't say the name because I don't want to get in trouble, but it's not the big animal rescue that's in the street saving animals. It's the smaller ones.
Right.
It's the smaller nonprofits that are helping our seniors and helping our children and single mothers and,
Right. And people don't always understand. You take a dog, a cat to a shelter, an LA City shelter, and more than likely that pet is going to be euthanized.
Yes.
Because they're at full capacity.
Yes.
They have no room. They have no way to support. Sometimes healthy young animals
Yes.
get sacrificed.
Yes.
And so organizations like Robbins and others are doing something amazing for us of us who love animals.
Yeah, we've helped a place called Oldies But Goodies, which was in Oregon, because again, the app works all over the United States, because it's for people in the community, because people know what you need in your community.
Right.
So we helped this Oldies But Goodies rescue, and it was a senior rescue, which is amazing. And she has programs like Seniors for Seniors, which is just so lovely. But she makes sure that these senior dogs are cared for.
How do you vet the organizations that you allow on your own nonprofit?
Well, that's a really great question. So I spend my day now vetting charities. And the first thing we make sure of is that at least 85% goes to the cause, at least. And then we make sure that they are legit. We check their social media. We check, just the company status. We make sure that their 501c3 number is right, just to make sure that they are who they say they are. And then I delve into the financials, and that's where it gets complicated. So I make sure I check where the money comes from. I check how they raise their money, and then I check on what they spend their money on. And it's, yeah. So, gosh, how could I say this? There's a lot of money not being spent in the right places.
Right, right.
We get a lot of suggestions on the app. And I have to say that many don't make it onto the app because of the way that they spend their money. So a lot of organizations out there just don't spend money on the cause.
Right. And people need to know this about you, that you make sure that the money they're sending you is going to the right place and it's going to be spent the way that it's supposed to be
Well, we
spent.
film a video of them spending it in the right place. Not only that, but we hold them accountable because we're so small, meaning that it's, I call them and I say, if you win the money, what are you going to use it for? And I have to have a guarantee because we will have to shoot a video of that.
Right.
And it's nice to be able to hold them accountable. There's no other charity that holds people accountable for what they spend the money on.
I think we have a phone call. I think we might actually have a phone call. Let me see. Let's see. I forgot to give out the number, but this person must have written it down last week. So,
there's also something I want to.
hello.
Oh, hi.
Hi, you're on the air. Welcome to the Edie Adler show. Who am I
How are
speaking to?
you?
I'm doing great, thank you. How are you, and who am I speaking to?
This is Tisha Janiki, and this She is Hope LA, and I was calling to give a shout out to the lovely lady you're interviewing today.
Oh, we were just talking about
This is my warrior
you.
woman that I
Wow.
adore.
So how did you find Pipster? Tell me.
We met through a networking group, and I immediately loved everything that Shoshana and Chris are doing. It's just such a beautiful concept, so simple and so easy. And like what she was saying, it only takes $1, and everyone can give that, and it makes such a huge difference.
Yes.
We were one of the fortunate recipients of the Pipster donations in November. We got the most votes. And we were able to take those donations, thank you, Shoshana, and help a lot of single moms and their children. And it was right at Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Yeah.
So what we did was we helped provide basic resources, clothing, food, household items. Every bit helps. So what Shoshana is doing, and Chris, it's phenomenal. And I can't recommend them more. I think everyone should get involved. And you had mentioned how easy it is. It's an automatic thing every month. You don't have to think about it, but I like to go in and vote. So I already cast my vote for this month because I like to see who she's vetting.
Yeah, I do too.
It's just a beautiful organization.
I believe I voted for you, if I'm correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Tisha's amazing.
Yeah. I read
appreciate
your
it.
little story and I thought, well, this woman is doing something that a lot of us talk about doing, but none of us really do. And there you are. So I voted for you. And
Tisha is so amazing that she spends her weekends. She has 2 boys, but she spends her weekends stocking the refrigerators of homeless shelters. That's her social life.
wow. Well, I'm glad you won.
She's a warrior.
Together we make a bigger impact,
Yes,
right, Shoshana?
that's
So
right.
I love doing that. We both help. We help other nonprofits all the time and volunteering, and that's just what our heart is. I've been through so much when I got divorced and had nothing in 2012, no money, no credit, no assets. And I'm so grateful to be able to give back and help uplift single moms and their kids and get them out of survival to thriving. And every bit of help we can get, like with what Pipster did for us with the votes, is so meaningful and so impactful. And I just can't thank you enough, Shoshana. I love you.
I love you too, Tisha.
And I'm very glad that you called because this way people know that it's just not me talking about my friend, that this actually works.
Yes, and please check out She is Hope LA. It's an amazing organization.
Do you have a website that you want to share with us? Or a phone number or anything?
Yeah, thank you.
Yes.
Please. It's sheishopela.org. You can get involved. You can volunteer, donate. If you need help, please, or you know anyone that needs help, everything is on our website.
sheishopela.org.
Yes.
Yes.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for calling and encourage other people to become a Pipster, and please encourage them to listen to the show or watch me and give them the phone number so they can call. Thank you again for calling and
absolutely
have a wonderful rest of the evening.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So that was good. We had our very first phone call in the show.
But do you see what I mean about somebody who has suffered a trauma of their own and vowed that nobody else would go through what they went through? And then and those are these amazing people out there.
Let me give the phone number again for people who didn't write it down last week. It's 323-203-0815. 323-203-0815. And I promise you, I'm not going to bite you. I'm not gonna make you uncomfortable. Maybe. This is a very comfortable
Unless
show.
You want her to.
Unless you want me to, yeah. But my husband's here, so probably not.
So we were talking about vetting, and there was something that I really wanted to tell people that I think is really important, is that, when you go to these big box stores and they say, do you want to round up? And they donate it to charity. Don't do it. Because the big box stores have already made their donations. You are literally just paying them back for their donation.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yes. You can go through their financials. You can see it. So say you're going to shop at a big box store. You can look up their financials. It shows that they made a donation in January.
Because I do that all the time, especially when I go to Petco to buy my dog food. And there's always a choice when you're checking out $2, $5, $10. And I always feel guilty if I don't do at least $2.
Don't do it.
Because I love dogs. I want to help.
You can, and I'm not saying don't do it just because I'm saying don't do it, but you can check their financials and you can see that in January, they make their donation. They write the check. So you are literally paying them back for their donation that they've already made.
Wow. Good to know. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank
Well,
you
I
for
found that out through vetting. It was kind of shocking,
Yeah.
actually.
See, I always learn something new with my friends and my guests.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, how many charities do apply for the month? On a normal month, how many charities do you have to choose from?
Well, we have 4 on there, but every month. But I'd say that we get an average of about 6 every month, 6 suggestions every month. And there's, I don't like to have more than one animal on there, animal charity.
Right.
So I have to, make sure that I can put them in order or push one a month, because I don't want animal charities to battle.
Competition.
Yeah. And I don't want more than one veteran on
Right.
there. So, we try and mix it up. We try and have something for animals, something for children, something for veterans. We try and mix it up. So it just depends. But we get an average of 6 suggestions.
You also mentioned earlier that people who need help,
Yes.
individuals,
Yes.
could be on the app.
Yes.
How do you find them? How do they find you? How do you vet them?
So they find us by emailing pifster.org, Shoshana@pifster.org. In Oregon, which is where my husband is from, he met a woman who her little boy was very sick. And he was walking down the street with an IV, passing top ramen out to homeless people. And his mother, his name was Max, his mother, Nicole, became friends with my husband's mother. And she said, you should contact my son. He just started this charity that I think might help you. And at the time, Max was 6 years old and he needed medication to prepare him for heart surgery that they couldn't afford. And we were able to put him on the app.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Not only did we get him his heart medication, but 6 months later, when he needed to get to Cincinnati for his heart surgery, Pifsters raised enough money to get him, his mother, and his father to Cincinnati so that he could get the heart surgery.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
How's he doing now? Do you know?
Oh, he's doing amazing. He's 7 now. I have to stop saying he's 6. He's 7 now. And he's doing good. He's doing good.
That's very
Yeah.
nice.
Max Dahlhard, you can find him on Facebook. He's an amazing child. There's something about someone who has been sick, who knows to just keep giving to other people.
Right.
I mean, with his IV, he's walking down the street, passing out top ramen to homeless people.
Amazing.
Yeah. At 6.
Wow.
Yeah.
How does it feel, Shoshana? How does it feel to be able to help someone, to be able to know that you are actually making a difference in people's lives? Maybe people you don't even know. But how does that make you feel?
Worth it. Valuable. I mean, I can now talk about it without crying. I used to go when, it's funny, when we used to go to distribute the check and make the video, I would have a really hard time handing the check over without crying. I was so soft and so, oh my gosh, it was so embarrassing. But it's just such a wonderful gift to be able to help somebody.
Absolutely. I agree. Totally.
It's the best feeling in the world. There's just nothing like it. No matter what kind of life you have, it just doesn't matter. If once you start helping somebody else, it just enhances your own life.
Right.
And it makes you appreciate everything you have.
Right. And that brings me to this week's Pet of the Week. Because we're talking about organizations that help save animals. So this week, I want to introduce you to Brian. Brian, one would think that adopting, rescuing, fostering Brian would be a no-brainer, but he's still waiting for a family to call his own. He has been at the East Valley Animal Shelter in Van Nuys since January 2024. Can you believe that? Since January. Come on, people. I know there's someone out there who wants to be Brian's family. He's 2 years old, so he's energetic, but he's also a cuddler. He shares a kennel and does very well in playgrounds. Recently, he was taken on a pack walk, and his handler described the outing as a wonderful experience. He needed a little help getting on the SUV, little push. But once he was there, he was perfect gentleman. He did wonderfully at the park. And like I said before, animals in the shelters don't last very long. So please, people, please open your heart, open your home, and foster, adopt, and be patient with the animal. Don't want to have a pet, and then the next day he's your pet. You have to give him time to decompress and get used to the new environment
and acclimate.
Yeah.
And learn to love you.
And the East Valley Animal Shelter is located at 14409 Van Owen Street in Van Nuys, California. And I know, Shoshana, that you and Chris have given homes to wonderful, wonderful dogs that really needed a home. Tell me about it a little bit.
Well, we have 3 dogs and 2 cats, and our 3 dogs literally came from the street that we live on. My oldest dog, Mickey, is, oh my gosh, he's 15 years old, 15, 16 years old. And I had to put food outside my door for a year before he would let me touch him, a whole year. And then once I got hold of him, I never let him go. And then I found out that a neighbor was the actual owner of the dog. But what he told me is that his wife had cancer and his sister came to visit her and thought if she brought her sister a puppy, that it would make her want to live. And unfortunately, his wife didn't make it and he didn't want the dog. So he just opened the door and let it go.
God.
Oh, yeah. So the puppy, Mickey is his name, was on the street for 5 years.
Wow.
Until we came along. That's Mickey. And then we have Wiley, who is from another neighbor down the street whose dog runs wild. And, they call our dogs California Chihuahuas. That's what the vet calls them. And I asked him, what is a California Chihuahua? And he said, well, it's always the Chihuahua that's out on the street. And so whatever the Chihuahua mates with is now a California Chihuahua.
Oh.
So I have a Chihuahua mixed with a Basset Hound, I think. He's kind of, his legs go like this. So I'm assuming it's a Basset Hound. Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of funny. And then we have another little girl now who another neighbor had it in a cage in the backyard. And as she said, she didn't have time to feed it.
Oh, my God.
Oh, yeah. So by the time we got her, by the time I talked this person into giving me the dog, she couldn't stand up. She was on death's bed. So I brought her home, and then I had to feed her with a bottle and bone broth because she couldn't keep solid food down. She was past that stage. And it took me 3 days of feeding her like every hour, about a quarter cup of bone broth to bring her back to life. And now she's raging. Now she rules the household.
You need to be on Pipster.
Yes. Yes.
You need to get you some money.
There's a great organization on Pipster right now, and it's called Animal Tracks. And they are in Agua Dulce. And Stacy, who runs that place, is amazing. She gets a lot of her animals from illegal trade. But unfortunately, because there has been a rise in people dropping off their dogs in the mountains in Bakersfield and Agua Dulce, and it's terrible. They're now taking in dogs. But because they've taken so many dogs in, they are running low on food. So that's what the money would be used for. They're desperate for food. Plus, also because it's so hot in Agua Dulce, they're not able to give tours. So attendance is down. Yeah. Yeah. But it's amazing there. They have an armadillo named Frank the Tank. I never knew an armadillo loves a scritch under the chin and plays with a ball. I mean, animals are amazing.
Animals are amazing.
Animals are.
Yeah. I say they're God's gift to people, and people don't know how to appreciate the gift.
Absolutely.
And we were talking earlier about Pipster, how you can make a difference in somebody's life for just $1 a month.
Yes. 25 cents a week.
Right. But the sky's the limit, right?
Yes.
You wouldn't refuse a bigger donation.
No, my dad chips in more. Bless my dad. My dad chips in more. My cousin chips in more. Yeah. We wanted to make giving accessible to everybody, because even kids want to help, and they can even chip in $1 with their parents from their allowance.
Right.
You could make it a thing. I have some friends who have a daughter and she chips in $1 from her allowance, and she's proud to be a Pipster and tells me every time I see her, I donated $1. I donated $1. So sweet. So yeah, we wanted to make giving accessible to everybody because not everybody has hundreds of dollars to make an impact that they want to make. So just $1, but there's 10 million people in Los Angeles. Can you imagine if 1/10 of the people gave $1? Can you imagine the problems that we could actually solve?
Right. Right.
You know, and our caregivers, these people who are out there of their own time, their own money, their own heart, they shouldn't worry about finances. They should just follow through with their caregiving. They
Yeah.
shouldn't worry about where the money's going to come from to care for all the people that they care for.
Yeah. When I, as you know, my parents, I lost them both to Alzheimer's.
Yes.
And when they could no longer take care of themselves, we moved in with us. And I had a very, very good job with the American Heart Association. I was the Latino media director,
Nice.
Western States. So it was a very good job, and it was very satisfying because I was doing something for the community. I was
Yes.
helping people, but I had to give that up. I have to give that up so that I could care for my parents. So I know.
Yes.
And that brings me to the other organization that I nominated,
Yes.
Lisa's Care Connection.
Another woman who experienced trauma of her own and vowed that nobody else would go through what she went through.
Right. She lost both her grandmother and mother
Yes.
to Alzheimer's. And she promised her mom that she would do something to help others. And she came up with this. They have several locations throughout
Yes.
the nation. And the one in Burbank is the one that I'm familiar with. And Burbank, California, by the way. But I met her and we became friends because she understood. The way that I met her is I was having a breakdown, actually. I had never called the organization before. Somebody had given me a bunch of numbers to call. I was crying. I was a mess. I didn't know what the heck I was doing.
Yeah.
And I called a couple of the numbers that I had. Nobody was able to help me. I called this third number, vowing that I wouldn't call anybody else if I couldn't get help here. And I'm crying and I'm crying. And she goes, come down, come down. What's going on? I can't deal with this anymore. She goes, come down. This is Lisa. How can I help you? She actually answered the phone. And then she put
Because
me.
she knows.
She knows.
She's been through it.
And then she put me in touch with the director at the time, Stephanie. And I started using everything that they offer for free, not just to caregivers, but to people who are suffering from Alzheimer's
Yes.
and Parkinson's disease.
That's what blew me away, was that her services are free.
Totally free. And they
Yes.
also offer resources. And I'm going to need you to do my makeup for this one. And I'm going to invite you and Chris to come to this because I'm going to senior prom.
Oh, nice.
And you and Chris can join us,
Oh,
Neil and I.
senior prom? I don't know if I'm ready to
Yes.
admit that yet.
Come dance the night away at senior prom in support of Lisa's Care Connection on September 19th at 7 p.m.
Nice.
Senior prom is where we get to bring all generations together. Whether you're a student senior or a senior citizen, I'm neither. Senior prom is your night. Enjoy delicious hors d'oeuvres, drinks, music, and dancing. Tickets start at just $75. And guess what? If you can't come because maybe you live out of town or whatever your reason, you can still make a donation for $75 and send your tax deductible donation can send a senior to prom. So for more information, call Lisa's Care Connection at 818-847-3686, 818-847-3686, or visit lisascareconnection.org. So I nominated them. Then
Yes.
you did your homework, and
What an impressive organization they are.
yes, I'm impressed by you, though, you and
Oh,
Chris,
Well, thank you.
because you're doing something. A lot of people think, oh, I'd like to make a difference with my life, and I want to make something. I want to help people. And then
They don't.
they don't.
Yeah.
And you're doing something.
Well, COVID really woke me up. It really, I mean, it woke everybody up. It shook everybody to the core,
Yes.
and I had to reevaluate what I was doing and whether or not it was worth it. And it wasn't. So I wanted to do something that was worth it. I want to make sure every day that I do something that is worth it.
Yeah. I know by personal experience that life in Hollywood
Yes.
is very tough.
Yes. Soul sucking.
It's very, very tough.
Yes.
And it's not easy. It's not easy to make it in none of the fields that the industry comprises. It's not easy to make it as a director. It's not easy to make it as a writer. It's not easy to make it as a producer. It's not easy, especially not easy to make it as an actor or actress. I don't do the neutral, I'm sorry. Because there are so many people looking for the same job.
Yeah.
And there's so many people willing to do things that you wouldn't do.
Yes.
I could have been a Playboy centerfold when I was 19 years old. I chose not
I
to.
might have worked with you. I worked for Playboy too.
Yeah,
So.
I chose not to because I always, my rule has always been, I'm never going to do anything that would embarrass my dad.
Right.
So, but they didn't bat an eye when I said no. Okay, fine, thank you.
Well,
Next.
Yeah, they just, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So being a makeup artist and being a working makeup artist takes a lot of talent, takes a lot of also being in the right place at the right time, but it takes a lot of hard work and it takes an extreme amount of talent to do the things that you used to do.
Yes.
Do you miss that at all?
Yes. I miss the glamour of it.
Yes.
I miss because it's magical when you're making movies. There are 300 people around you, all with the same goal, and everybody has one job to do.
Right.
I miss the teamwork. I miss the trenches, meaning like we would work really late hours and we'd all be goofy. I miss the camaraderie. I miss creating characters, and enabling an actor to be tired, to be, diseased, to be a monster, to be
older, younger.
Yeah. Everything. Yeah, of course I miss those things. And there's a special bond that you make with an actor when you are their makeup artist.
Oh, I know. When I was working on Switched at Birth, I made friends with the lady who used to do my makeup.
Yeah.
And there were 3 hair people and I believe 2 makeup artists, plus the one that was in charge of the stars.
Right.
And she would always ask to work with me.
Nice.
It was nice. It was nice. We
Yeah.
talked about everything. We talked about our pets. We talked about work and we're tired. And she would take really good care of me when I was just standing by the sidelines waiting. She would come and pat.
Yeah.
It was really, really nice.
It was a great job.
Yeah.
It was a great job. I think the things change.
Who's your favorite to work on as a makeup artist, if you have one?
Oh, I don't know.
I mean, besides me.
Yeah, I don't know.
You've actually done my makeup.
I have done I did your makeup for Sherry's wedding.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know. I remember Charles Shaughnessy. He was oh gosh, he was so great. Charlie was I can't remember the name of the show. He was with Fran Drescher.
Oh yes.
Yeah,
yes,
he
yes,
was. I did a
the
movie.
nanny.
Yes, the nanny.
The Nanny,
I was
yeah.
did a couple movies with him. He was amazing. There's great people, but I don't.
Yeah.
I mean, I liked everybody I worked with at the time that I worked with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never had a bad experience with anybody. Actually, never. I hear
You're
horror
lucky.
stories.
You're lucky.
Well, I don't put up with any BS either. But
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, we would see
Yeah.
things, but there was no one to talk to about what you
I did see
so.
one thing though. I now that you mention it, I did see one thing happening, and I knew the assistant director, and I went to him and I told him about it, and he took care of it.
That's good.
Never happened
Then
again.
you had a great assistant director.
I had a
Yeah.
wonderful assistant
Yeah.
director.
And it must have been the person who was doing it wrong must have been below the line.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it wasn't
Below the line, for people who don't know, is crew. Above the
Right.
line are the producers and the director who can
Right.
do absolutely anything and get away with it.
yes. And it wasn't happening to me. I just happened to see somebody being mistreated, and I didn't like that. But rather than starting a scene, which might have gotten me fired,
Yes.
I went to the one I knew, and he took care of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, again, below the line is easy to take care of
Yeah.
because we're indispensable and replaceable, like
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Before
It's
we
above
go,
the line
yeah.
that is the problem.
Before we go, I want to talk. Oh, we have more phone calls. Let's take another phone call. Here we go. Let's see. Let's see. Okay, here we go. Welcome to the DJ Adler Show. You're on the air. Who are we speaking to?
Yeah, hi, this is Vincent, and I just heard that you and Shoshana were talking about Pipster, and I just have to say that I work with a band, Green Jello, and
Yes.
we were so excited to have Pipster on the side of the bus because it goes to communities around the U.S. It was just in Las Vegas and Nashville, and just trying to get the message out there because we respect and honor what she's up to, her and Chris. And it was just nice to hear you guys on the radio. I just have to say thank you to Shoshana for making the effort to support people and have the money go where it needs to go and not into people's pockets.
Yes.
That's wonderful. I'm glad that you called. And
Yes.
we
Thank you, Vinny.
we also want to thank Chris, Shoshana's husband, because
Yes.
they're both doing this and they're both supporting each other in this difficult journey because it's not an easy ride.
No.
But I'm very glad you called. Thank you for calling, and please,
Thank you, Vinny.
please pass the word about Pipster and about the show. Thank you for calling. Have a good evening.
So that's Vinny, who got our Pipster logo on Green Jello, which is a band's bus that is traveling. They're in Vegas now performing, and they will be traveling, and you'll see our logo on the bus.
And we have, believe it or not, do we have another phone call?
Holy
no,
moly.
no, I don't think we have another.
I was like, wow, Edie,
You know,
Edie.
I don't see well with my,
Edie, that's awesome.
I don't see well with my, I think we might have let me click on this and see what happens. Hello, this is
trying to reach is currently unavailable.
Oh, okay. Oh, they
Please
must.
leave a message after the tone. When you have finished, please hang up.
Okay, the message is, stay on the phone, please, if you're going to call the show. That's the message. I want to share a little bit about my anxiety before we go, because I do that every show.
Yes. You have
And
great videos, by the way.
Thank you.
Yes.
I want to take this opportunity to share another tool to deal with anxiety. If you're suffering from anxiety, panic attacks, there is no shame in asking for help. There is no shame in seeing a doctor, a psychologist, a psychiatrist, a counselor, and there is no shame in taking medication if that's what your doctor recommends. But you know what can make you feel better right away? Doing something for someone else. If you do something,
Amen.
any little thing for someone else, even if you're at the supermarket and you say something to someone, you have beautiful eyes, and they smile, that will make you feel better right away. But your compliment has to be truthful. Don't say something just to say something. If the person has really beautiful eyes, then say it. If they have an outfit that looks good on them, say it. Or just say, good morning, how are you? Good afternoon. If they don't say it back, don't worry about it. Go to the next person. Do something nice for someone else, and that will help your anxiety right away. And Pipster helps you do that.
Yeah, it's paying it forward.
Because you know you're doing something every month. You don't even have to think about it.
Yeah.
You download the app, you go on their website. How do people find you if they're not blessed to be your friend like I am?
So you can do two things. You can download the app from Google or the Apple Store, or you can go online at app.pipster.org. And the app is there. You can donate, become a Pipster, donate $1 a month, and suggest your organizations where you want to pay it forward to. I just want to say that it is really important to pay it forward when you're outside. When you smile at someone, that person will smile to someone else. You literally see it going forward.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree.
Yes. So please, app.pipster.org. The app is online. You can see all of the organizations and all the videos that we've already donated to, which is amazing. And then the 4 that are up for vote this month.
How do people decide which one to vote for?
Well, that's a personal thing. Some people, no matter what you care about, we have something there, but some people have an affinity for animals. Some people like senior citizens. Some people like education. Some people like children's organizations. Some people might have experienced a trauma of their own that they want to take, that they want to deal with or that they want to donate to.
And there are videos about the organizations,
Oh,
right?
yeah. Oh,
and
yeah. There's videos that will tell you about the organization and what the money will be used for. And then if you go to prior months, which is another section on the app, the prior charities that have won, they'll show you how the money was used and the video of them doing it that way or showing the money.
Very nice. And I understand that you guys do the videos, right? Or do people do their own?
So we do our videos that if you're in Los Angeles, but there was recently a horse haven in Kansas that won. And she needed the money to help a really sick horse that
I think I voted for the horse.
Yeah,
I love
Big
horses.
Throw. Well, this woman travels all over and she buys neglected and abused horses that people are about to send across to Mexico for the slaughter.
My God.
So yeah, she's a go-getter,
And
Cindy.
horses are such noble animals.
They're so spiritual. They're so amazing. Yeah, she's amazing. But so she needed money for a specific thing, but she made the video for us because we couldn't obviously be in Kansas.
Right. How about that? I'm voting for all the winners.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, and I love it. I love Neil is a pipster. I'm a pipster.
I'm a pipster.
And so we get our money taken out automatically.
Thank you.
And it doesn't, like I said, you don't have to think about it. But also, if you don't think about it, you get a reminder to
Yes.
vote for your organization.
Yes, my husband's very good at that. He sends out newsletters, reminders to vote. Yes, reminders to vote, and just to keep you updated as to what is going on with us. And, we have a new website coming out in a couple of weeks. So we're going to be able to take business sponsorships, which is amazing. That will help. And then we'll be able to focus on the charities that we're helping.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And besides that, Chris also has a regular job. He
Yes.
didn't give up
No,
his glamorous lifestyle
no,
to the
no.
hipster.
I am his job and he has a regular job. Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
And he'll tell you I could be quite exhausting. But I don't know, when you're passionate about something, you're just energized, and you see the difference that it's making. I mean, you see, for instance, last month, somebody donated $20 to Hero Tales, which was a dog rescue in Eagle Point, Oregon. So I called her and I said, I'm going to send your check off. I hope you're well. I hope, this gets to you. And I said, I'm sorry, it's just $20. And she said, oh my God, Shoshana, it's a whole bag of food. It's a whole bag of food. That makes a huge difference. It's about, these little things. I think people seem to think that people need big things to help. You need big money to help others.
Right.
They want to make a big impact, and you don't need to. It's just $1. It's just a bag of food. It's just a smile. It's just opening the door for someone. It's small things make a huge difference in other people's
And
lives.
when you think, what's $1 going to do? Well, it's not just your dollar.
Yeah.
When you join Pipster,
Yeah.
there are a lot of other Pipsters
Yes.
out there. So
Yes.
your dollar gets into the bundle,
Yes.
and then you're contributing to the final amount
Yes.
that's going to do a lot of good.
Yes.
for
We hope it's
somebody
your
who needs it.
dollar, your mother's dollar, your brother's dollar, your friend's dollar, your sister's dollar. Yes. And you can also make direct donations. So for instance, if I like animals, but I think that this other educational charity I'm going to vote for, you can make a direct donation to the other charities.
How does that work?
So on the app, there's for each charity, we'll have a direct donation button. And so you can make your direct donation there, $10, $5, and they'll get that direct donation no matter who gets the most votes. That will definitely go to them.
Can you do that after you voted for
Yes.
the months?
Yes, you can always make a direct donation, always. Not only that, but you can go to our past charities that have won and make direct donations, because you now know that these people have been vetted.
I did not know that.
Yes.
Thank you for mentioning that.
Yes.
I did not know that.
So again, if you support, if you have an affinity for senior citizens, you can go through all of our senior citizen charities that have won, that have received the most votes, and that they've been vetted, and
Right.
and then you can make a direct donation.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. Yeah, Neil and I are both Pipsters, and so you don't have to do it just yourself. Involve your husband,
Yes.
involve your children.
Involve your children.
Teach your children how to be
Yes.
charitable
Yes.
from the very beginning.
That is my goal. That's why it was $1.
My dad taught me that when I was little, and my mother too. And I'd like to think that I'm good at being helpful or trying to make a difference. But I owe that to my parents, and parents out there, teach that to your children. Please.
Yes.
Help them join Pipster.
Yes.
This
Yes.
is one app that you don't have to be worried about that they're going to see something they're not supposed to see.
app.pipster.org.
And on the App Store?
That you can download the app or you can work it online. Both now we have.
Wonderful.
Yes.
Well, thank you, Shoshana, for coming
Thank you,
today
Edie.
and for all that you do, all you and your husband do. We thank you from the bottom of my hearts, my husband and I. And I wish you nothing but blessings.
Thank you.
And the best. And God bless you, my friend, because you are doing God's work.
Well, thank you. You as well.
Thank
You as well. Thank you.
Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Please tell a friend. And remember, always, always be grateful.
Yes.
This is Edie J. Adler. Until next week.
You're listening to The Edie J. Adler Show, only on LA Talk Radio.